Firecracker Boys by Dan O'Neill is an engrossing and detailed look at Alaska's brush with nuclear weapons testing. Edward Teller, who was part of the Manhattan Project and father of the H-bomb, convinced the Atomic Energy Commission, now called the Department of Energy, to blow up a chunk of Alaska near Point Hope to create a harbor/coal mining facility. This is the story of how local native villages, dissenting University of Alaska Fairbanks scientists, and environmentalists in the lower 48 banded together to stop this from happening. Some of my unfiltered thoughts on this book. I loved reading this book right here. It was recommended to me by a coworker when I was working over there at Hearthside Books. And there's so much passion in the way that he writes about it, and every page is just packed with information, just detailed information that is so fascinating, and you can really tell that the author is really passionate about it as well. This guy started writing this book because he was going to do a documentary about it, and then he just was so inspired by all the research that he was like, I'm just going to write a book about it because there's so much stuff that I can't even fit it into a documentary film. And that's really inspiring to me because I'm going to grad school for journalism. I'm going to grad school for multimedia journalism, and just the way that this guy goes about collecting this information, doing the research, and the passion behind it, and his methods, and he collects a lot of Freedom of Information Act requests to get some of the information that's in this book, and even uncovers some information that wasn't really readily available. You're just drawn all the way through by the simple question mark of how could this have been a thing? How the fuck was someone gonna blow up a chunk of Alaska? Like, how could this have almost happened? Because it almost happened. It was really like a hair from happening, and we almost did this, where we just blew up a chunk of Alaska as part of something that Edward Teller called Project Plowshares, where he was trying to figure out some way of making nuclear weapons, more basically using them for world peace purposes, and kind of trying to rewrite his own past for having developed the thing in the first place. But here he's doing just something crazy. This grassroots movement minority of people were the ones who put it to an end. Anyone interested in like Cold War era stuff, post World War II era kind of stuff, I would highly recommend it. It's great. It's fascinating. So those are my thoughts on Firecracker Boys by Dan O'Neill. It's a great one. I wanted to say as a postscript for the Firecracker Boys book as well, my father actually met Edward Teller because he got a master's degree in physics, and there was one time when Edward Teller actually went to his college to give a lecture, I think in the 70s, and he helped set up, my dad helped like set up the chairs for the lecture or something like that. So I just thought that was kind of crazy that there's like some family connection, because he definitely seems like one of those cartoonish, over-the-top characters. I had heard he even inspired the character of Dr. Strangelove, of the movie Dr. Strangelove. Another thought that I had about this is I had heard also that Leonardo DiCaprio bought the rights to this, and he was going to make a movie about it, and I don't know whatever happened to that, but I really, really hope he does, because I think it would make an awesome movie. So those are my thoughts on Firecracker Boys. It's great. Pick it up if you got the chance.